Hello everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Adventures in Metaphysics. Today I have my April excitements for you all, and of course I'm very excited about all these things. I have a lot to talk about, so grab your snack, start folding your laundry, whatever it is you do while you watch YouTube. I like to do all the above. And I think I'm just gonna jump right in because again, I've got a lot that I'm talking about. I probably should move this stepladder out of the way, but I didn't really think of it. We're just gonna use it probably as an armrest throughout. Anyhow, we're gonna start with memories first. And my first one is that I started out the month visiting Charleston, South Carolina, which I've never been there before, and it was such a cool place to visit. There was so much to do. We were only there for a long weekend, so we didn't get to, do everything on the list. But my favorite thing is we went to a park called Cypress Gardens, which, if you're a fan of The Notebook, I'm not super familiar with the movie, but some of my friends that I went with are, and this is how we kind of ended up there. Apparently, the scene where they're on the boat and it's raining was filmed on the lake at this garden. So it was this park where you could walk around, they had all these trails, and it was just filled with all these beautiful cypress trees and Spanish moss trees, which I've never seen in person, and they just were so beautiful. And they also had this really cool reptile room, which I love any sort of zoo type exhibits. Of course, as long as the animals are getting treated well, which it seemed like these were, from my understanding, rescued. So, they were getting treated very well, but there were alligators and lizards, snakes, a lot of fish. So that was super, super cool to see. I love anything like that. So yeah, that trip, I really want to go back because I didn't get to visit any of the old churches there, which is something I would really like to do. So hopefully I will return one day, but for that long weekend, it was really a lot of fun. So that was right at the beginning of the month. I think we left April 1st. I guess I'll just keep going with the trips because I only went one other place. And that was this past weekend. I visited my older sister, Lauren, because it was local yarn storing day. And when there's these special events going on, she will do a trunk show of her hand-dyed yarn at a store called Winterberry's Yarn, which was just the greatest little store. It just was filled with all this hand-dyed yarn, which I've only seen through Lauren. I've never really seen other people's work. It was really, really cool. And she also had a lot of antiques and things from local artists on sale, and it was such a nice little shop. So I went to help Lauren out with that. And you know what? I'm gonna show, I don't know if this interests anyone, but I'm gonna show it anyway because I find it exciting. I'm gonna go show the yarn that I got. I apologize if I'm also talking a million miles an hour. I feel like I might be. When I get excited, I talk fast. We're gonna try and slow it down, zen out a little bit. But if not, I think you can slow down the speed on YouTube videos. So if I'm causing headaches or something, maybe try that if you really want to watch the rest. But we're gonna try and slow down the talking. Anyway, so I got 3 balls of yarn that is done by the Winterberries brand, hand-dyed, and then I have, of course, one from my sister. So we'll start out with the Winterberries. The first one I got, I think it was called Dusk Wildflowers or Wildflowers at Dusk or something. So there was a regular wildflowers, which was lighter and brighter, but I just loved the deep colors of this. It's just nothing I've seen before, and it drew my attention right away because I really like deep colors like that, and just to have it be, I don't know, almost like a deep rainbow, it felt so unique. I knew right away I was going to want to make a tarot mat out of it because it's kind of a bulky yarn size, which I really like to make tarot mats out of, because they feel a little bit more cushioned. So if you want to take them on the go, it feels protective to me, at least. So that was the first one. And then I also got what they call mini skeins. Some of this terminology is a bit new to me. But I got these two, and this one is Christmas Pine, which is this nice kind of hunter green color. And this was their color of the month. They do colors of the month, with I just think that's so much fun. So this was this month, and it is Grape Hyacinth. So it's this nice brighter green with this kind of like grape blue kind of color running throughout. So I got these to pair together to make some tarot bags out of, specifically for a deck that's also in my favorites, and I won't spoil it, but I'll pull these out again, hopefully, if I remember. Or maybe you can guess when I get to that section. But oh, I didn't show my sister's yarn. So, of course, I had to get some of Lauren's hand-dyed yarn. Her company is called Color Wheel Yarns, and you can find that on Instagram. I will link it below, and I will try and remember to link Winterberry's yarn. I think they have a website where you can buy some of their stuff. I will link that below, but this is called Blue Hawaiian. She did this whole series where it was based on like cocktails or just mixed drinks, and I just thought this was so much fun. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I just couldn't leave it there. It's just, the bright colors I just thought were so unique and fun. So that is the yarn that I got there. Oh, some other favorites. I'll go through them quick because I feel like I've talked these to death, but my Solar Return reading with Kyra was such a favorite. I feel like I still think about it every single day, and it's been like 3 weeks now, but she just had the best advice, and it was such a good reading, and it was so different, so I highly recommend those. And of course, my sweet box from Andy, her Instagram handle's Andy the Wildflower. She does things with tarot as well. We did a trade for one deck is what we were supposed to be sending, but she sent me this whole box of decks and books that she said she thought they just needed to be with me, and that was just so nice and special, and just, I don't know, no one's like just sent me things before. Not that I would ever expect that, but I don't know, it just was really touching and nice. And some of the decks that she sent are like in my favorites now because she was so right. I just instantly connected with so many of them, so that was really cool. And my last favorite memory is that I officially have opened for readings, which is not something I honestly thought I would ever do, but we are battling the imposter syndrome real hard with this one. I know that reading for other people is something that I really enjoy. I get a lot of joy and fulfillment out of it, feeling like hopefully I am helping people by doing so. So I made up a few different kinds of readings that are now available in my Etsy shop for purchase. So the same place you can find my tarot bags, I will link it down below, but it's Crochet Witch Wears on Etsy. So I just wanted to keep everything in one place, and I had the Etsy for my tarot bags, so I figured I would just add them on there. So it is a pre-recorded video. That's how I've decided as of now to do the readings, because I tried doing them by email where I would send like a typed up PDF, but I found that I felt like I was forgetting some of the things that I was kind of thinking while pulling the cards. So I thought it feels a bit more personal, which I like, and I feel like I can get more across when I'm able to just talk as I go, which is kind of how I pull my own cards. So pre-recorded video is kind of how it's rolling for now, but that is available in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out. I really kind of like what I came up with, which you'd hope so, but it feels weird to say that. But yeah, a lot of those readings I'm just really excited about, and I do them for myself all of the time. And yeah, so you can check those out with the link below. But I think that is it for my favorite memories. Now I have to get into, I'm going to show one thrift store find because it's so good. It's so good, but I'm going to go grab that for my thrift store favorite. Okay, so my one thrift store find favorite, it's a little bit on the bigger side, which is why I am crouched over right now, but it is this cradle bassinet. I'm not exactly sure, but I just think it's the coolest thing. I saw it in Savers maybe a week or two ago, and I wasn't gonna get it because I was like, what am I doing with that? Like, that's for either like a baby doll or like a baby, which I have neither of. I had to think about if I have a doll or not, but I do not. So I wasn't gonna get it, but I just I couldn't stop thinking about it. I don't know what I'm gonna put in it, but I think it is just the most beautiful, cool thing. Look at the back, all these tulips. I mean, isn't that great? I feel like it would be cool if you had a fireplace, which we have an electric one, but maybe I can just simulate if I put like wood in it or something, or I don't know. I kind of want to find a way to even use it for like crafting or tarot or something. I'm not positive, but that is my thrift store favorite. I just think it's the coolest thing and I couldn't leave it. It was $7. What a steal. So that is my one thrift store favorite. And I'm just gonna move right into, I also have one book, which of course I can never seem to remember to bring the hard copy home from the library. So we have a picture to work with. But my favorite book from this month is called Mushroom Rain by Laura K. Zimmerman. And it is a picture book, but it's nonfiction. And it's just like it sounds, like all about mushrooms, which I find mushrooms to be so interesting, and I learned so many new things from this book. Like, I didn't realize that, like, mushrooms as an organism, what you see pop up above ground is really only, like, a small piece of them. I forget the term, but they really are these really big organisms that spread out underground. So that's how they kind of pop up in random places, too, is that they sense that like there's a food source, and so they send like basically a shoot up, and that's like the mushroom that comes out. So cool. And apparently the biggest mushroom is the size of like a whole forest, which blew my mind. That all came from this children's nonfiction book. So again, that's my plug for children's nonfiction, and this book was so cool. Not to mention the illustrations are just so beautiful. So that is for sure my favorite book of the month. I haven't read an adult book in quite some time. I have one that I brought home, but I'm not far enough into it where I have anything to say on it, but it is a witchy, cozy mystery, which is always my favorite. So maybe in next month I'll have something to say. Hopefully I finish it by then, but we'll see. I think that is all for my non-tarot favorites. So let's get to the decks, shall we? I know that is like the most exciting part, so I think we're just gonna jump right into that. Okay, I'm gonna start off with the decks that have been my favorites from this past month that I've been working with. And my first favorite is the deck mod I did this month, so my second one ever. And it's one I'm really excited about, but I modified the Anecdotes Tarot, which if you've watched some of my other videos, you know this deck was huge, like unmanageably huge. I couldn't shuffle it. It was sitting in my purgatory box for, I mean, I feel like it's even close to a year and a half. Like, I just couldn't use it, but I couldn't part with it. So even though I think it is technically out of print now, I figured, what do I have to lose? Like, I want a way to use it because I can't seem to get rid of it. So we modified it, and now it is much more manageable. It's still super long, but I trimmed off the edges so that I can hold it from the sides and a little bit of the tops, but not much. So now as I hand over hand shuffle, so that's all I really need to do. So now, as you can see, I can do that. The cards are still big, but I don't mind it if I can shuffle. And I really like how it came out. I don't know. I didn't want to completely get rid of the borders because I do like what that adds. And some of the images, I wasn't sure I'd be able to recognize them without a label. So I'm pleased with that, how that came out, and I've been using it since, and I love how this deck reads. That really was the thing. I love the artwork, and it's always read well for me the few times I used it before I trimmed it. This is my favorite card. Look at that Queen of Swords. Is it focusing? There we go. I don't know. I think it's focused, but I think it's just the pink. But the artwork is so beautiful. And this is by, I actually am not sure of the name. Her Instagram handle is clownmonger, but I will put the website down below. Again, I don't think you can get this deck anymore, but she is coming out with a really cool Lenormand deck done in the same style. So I'm very excited about that. That might be my second Lenormand deck ever because I love her artwork. So that is definitely a favorite from this month. Okay, so that wasn't really a favorite that I've used in this month. That's just one that I modified. But now we are going to get into the ones that I've just been using nonstop this month. And we're going to start out, we remembered the yarn one. We're going to start out with that. The Woodland Warden's Oracle. Now, this is one that I had on my list of like, I'm going to pre-order it or like at least get it right when it comes out. I know I'm going to love it. And for some reason, I hesitated for like quite some time. I think I just wanted to wait to see what it looked like. I'm not really sure why, because I knew from the pictures, I was like, I know this is going to work for me. It's animals, it's nature, and it's just an illustration style I'm always drawn to. And it had keywords, like I knew it was going to be perfect for me, but I waited for a bit, and then I saw the walkthrough on Exploring Tarot, and that convinced me because she got to the possum card and mentioned how the possum card reminded her of me and my 3 possums that I feed now. Pete, Pam, and Pasquale. I have 3 visitors at night now that I catch on my trail cam, so after that, I was like, oh, it's got a possum, like I have to get it, but it's been reading so well for me. I have a really tough time finding oracles, which actually, I've got 2 oracles on this that have like completely blown me away, and I know are going to be longtime favorites, and this is definitely one. I know there's some like printing things, like the color backs sometimes are a bit off, things like that, but it's nothing that bothers me much. So this has really been, you know what? I'm going to take out some of the cards. I'm going to show it. Because I was just going to say, the only thing I've been toying with, why do I feel like the color's off? Are we focusing? I think so. I think it's just the sunlight. I have been toying with cutting off the borders. I saw someone who did a deck mod where they completely went down to this black line and rounded it and made it kind of like a mini deck. And I'm tempted. I haven't done it yet because I'm nervous. I love this deck so much. I'm like, I don't want to ruin it. I know, you know, it's relatively inexpensive and I could buy it again, but I feel like I get really attached to like the single objects. Ooh. So I don't know. I've not made up my mind yet, but I do kind of think I'll end up doing it eventually. So this is definitely a favorite, and I got these to make a bag for this deck. I think it's gonna go really well with a lot of these colors. I'm very excited about that. I have to wind them into balls, which I just learned how to do before I can use them, so, but I'm gonna hopefully do that very soon because I really want to get this deck into a bag. That's been like a really big part of my deck bonding process, is making a deck bag for my decks, or if it's, whether it's making it myself, I do really like to make them myself, but every once in a while I will buy from other creators because I just like seeing what other people do and how they make them and things of that sort. So, but getting them like their own special home has been like a really big part of my deck bonding process. Anyhow, the next deck that has been such a favorite is the Revival Art Tarot. This came in right at the beginning of the month, and I feel like all of these decks, I feel like they just are constantly out. I'm constantly wanting to play with them and use them. It just has read so well. I love the images. I'm really discovering how much I love decks that feature art, anything from art history. I really tend to work well with. So this one is right up that alley. I really just, I don't know, it feels like the pictures kind of tell stories in a way. That's been such a cool thing about this deck. It's such nice quality too. I know everyone says this is by Taroko Studios. I know I've heard that, but oh, I love this card. That's one of my favorites. Which is funny because I'm not usually one for the Five of Swords, but I just think that's such a good depiction. I've heard that the quality is amazing, but this is my first one from Taroko Studios, so I hadn't felt it myself, and it's just so nice. It feels so luxurious. So this has definitely been a favorite. Now, my other favorite we will go through quickly because I feel like I've just been fangirling intensely. But that I've already shown is my Mystic Masters Tarot. So, like I said in the flip through, I totally missed the boat on the first edition and have to say I was sad about it until I saw that Dani posted that she was working on a second edition, and I just have been like, stalking's not the right word, keeping close tabs on the progress and anything that she mentions about it. And when it came out, she has it up on Make Playing Cards. I like did not even think twice. I ordered it right away, and it's just one of those decks that I got in, and right from taking it out of the box, I felt so connected to it. It's, I don't know. I don't even know what it is, but it just feels really special, and the work that she's put into it. I think I really appreciate when I can see the work that goes into a deck. That's just something that I really enjoy. And she's done a lot of videos and walkthroughs of both editions, and the second edition was just building upon that first edition, so it was cool to kind of watch both of those and see just the hard work and personal, what's the word I'm thinking of? Just the hard work she put into this, her time and effort, and just it feels like she really put herself into this deck, which I think is really awesome. So I don't even think this one has seen the inside of my tarot cabinet yet because it's been out all the time. So this has been a big favorite. My other oracle is my Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. I'm forgetting the name of the author of the book. I should have brought that over too because it's really fantastic. But this is one that I don't know, I held off on this one for so long. I really did not like the artwork when I saw it, so I didn't get it. And then I just have gotten this, I've always been really interested in fairies. It's something I've loved since I was little, but I got a real interest in, you know, connecting with the land spirits or fae energies around me, and so I wanted some decks that would do that. And just the other fairy oracles, I was finding at least, just didn't feel right for me. And so this one is always in my local metaphysical store. So I was there a few weeks ago and I was like, you know what? We just gotta try it because everyone loves this deck that I know who has it. We gotta try it. And oh my gosh, I pull from this deck every single day. This is the deck I use to connect with any land spirits, however you want to think about it, around me. This is how I do that. And it just became, it's another one where it was like right from the start, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I feel like I don't need any other fairy oracle, certainly. I do have fairy tarots that I really love, but when it comes to oracle, like this one's it. So that is definitely a favorite, and I feel like a lot of these decks I have are ones that feel like they're going to be long time favorites, which is really exciting. I feel like I did a spring clean out, I called it, series. I might have actually been in the month of April. I can't remember now. But I feel like the result of that is I took notice to the categories I made up that had the most decks in it, and just I feel like I've been learning a lot about what decks work for me, but also just what I like. And I do really like trying out different tarot decks. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that, so it doesn't necessarily bother me when some of them kind of move through my collection quickly, or even just like in a matter of months or whatever it is. I don't get like sad, I guess, if I feel like one has to go, or I don't regret it. That's what I should say. I don't regret having the deck and getting the deck, because I do tend to put thought into it before I purchase the deck. So at one point or another, it was working for me, or at least I feel like it came in to show me something. But I feel like I'm finally getting to this place where with my collection where I feel really content and satisfied, I guess, where it just feels like all of the decks I have, maybe save a few. I feel like I could do like a small clean out again. I'm not positive, but a majority of the decks that I have are ones that I feel genuinely excited to use and excited to take out. So that's been really cool. Anyhow, my last favorite from this month that I've been using a ton comes from that beautiful box from Andy, and it is the Light Sprite Tarot. So there were a lot of synchronicities around this deck. It's funny because we did a trade. I forget what I traded her. What did I trade? She is a fan of my tarot bags, so I traded some tarot bags for the Brady Tarot, actually. And this is one of the ones that came as an extra beautiful surprise. And to tell you that I've maybe touched the Brady Tarot twice, maybe, since getting it, yet have, again, had this out nonstop. This is the Light Sprite Tarot. And it was so funny because right from when I was opening the box, I was like, I do really like the Brady Tarot. I'm excited to get to know it, but for some reason, this one was just calling out to me entirely. It just feels really unique. I don't even know what to explain about why I like it so much, but it really feels like you can place yourself in these natural scenes, and it feels like it's like energy there. But I think the other big reason why I like it so much is the day that I opened that package, Erin from Little Shop of Light and Love on Instagram, she does spirit guide readings, and that's something I've become really interested in. I personally believe in that concept, but I was having trouble feeling like I could connect with mine. So she did a poll for me that she let me know about right after I opened this deck and felt so drawn to it, that let me know all about my spirit guide, and it all made so much sense. And she was pulling cards that I've been like pulling for so long, and they didn't seem to make sense. It turned out it was like him totally just trying to reach out to me. And I asked her, I was like, could you find out anything about like if there's a deck that he might enjoy? And when I showed her like the beautiful box I got, she was like, oh, what's that Light Sprite one? Like, I don't know why I'm feeling like that feels like almost like a spirit guide type deck. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that must be why it was just such a synchronous moment, I guess, where it feels really connected to spirit in that way for me, which has been really, really cool to have a deck that I feel like is just for that purpose. That's what I've been using it as. I'm showing the same cards and just babbling, but I just think it's so unique, and just it reads so clearly for me. And again, it feels really connected to a spirit guide, which has been really helpful these past few weeks. So this is the Light Sprite Tarot, and I think that is my last deck favorite. But of course, we are going to get into the newer tarot decks that I have, or tarot decks I got in this month that I am excited to work with, which I always love this section of people's videos because I love being nosy. I love knowing what people are getting, and again, I just feel like the decks I've been getting, I know are really going to work well. Again, if they don't, it's okay. You know, not everything is going to be meant for me, but I just feel like I'm getting to know my preferences so much better, and so I'm like really excited about all the things I have to show. So yeah, let's get into that. Okay, the first thing I have to show is a book that I'm really excited to start working with. And this was a really nice birthday present from the incredible Jess over at Empress and Basil. She was so nice to send this to me, and it was such a good surprise. Again, I'm not used to like receiving things in that way, and it's just really cool to be a part of this community where everyone is just, I don't know, so kind and genuine. That's the end of my babble on that. I won't I won't keep going on, but she sent Animal Speak by Ted Andrews, and I am so excited about this. She knew me so well on this. I have almost bought this book so many times, and every time I just like think about it too long and then it's sold out at my bookstore. I always miss it. So it's one that I wanted to like kind of see and touch in person instead of buying it online for some reason. I don't know why. But maybe it was waiting because it knew Jess was gonna send me one. But she just knew I am so interested in connecting with animals and animal spirit, and this goes into a bunch of different animals and their symbology across different cultures, which I'm so fascinated by. And yeah, I am so excited to get into this. I mean, look at the size. We're gonna have so many different animals in here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to finally have this book. It seems like one I needed to have. I can't believe like I've waited this long. But again, maybe just the universe knew I was gonna receive it somehow. So that was really awesome of her. Anyway, now we're gonna get into the decks. So why do I feel like I am forgetting something? I don't think I am. No, okay. So the first deck I want to talk about is, I can't even believe I have it. This is one that I wasn't part of the pre-orders, but probably the first round of regular orders, which it was right after I opened my Etsy shop, and I saved up my first earnings to get this deck, and like, I don't know, it's just the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Lavish thing I've probably ever purchased for myself, and it still feels like kind of odd to me, I guess, but anyway, it is the Victorian Romantic Tarot, and even when I saw this in pre-orders, I was like, oh, like I know that's one I'm gonna love. I have such a fascination with the Victorian era, and I mean, we've all seen these decks before. They're beautiful. They're really like their own pieces of art with the I don't know if you can see the cold foil. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's so beautiful. It feels so luxurious. It came in this like beautiful wooden box. I can't still believe that I got this for myself. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But it's also just like a really cool like memory attached to it, where just the incredible support I've gotten from my Etsy shop and the love for my tarot bags, because I love them so much. I love making them for myself. It's really cool to see that other people are getting to enjoy them and have them as well. And so now when I see this deck, it's really cool to think of that as well, that I was able to kind of save up earnings from that to like get this really like beautiful thing for myself that I knew I would have had a hard time doing otherwise, just out of, I don't know, feeling like I can't do that kind of thing, I suppose. Oh, it's all mixed around. What happened there? I don't know. But it's beautiful. I've used it so much since I got it 2 weeks ago now. Oh, it's such a favorite. Even just to pull it out and just to look at it, it's just one that I feel like I'm going to cherish forever, because it just feels so special. It's got special memories attached to it now, and yeah, I'm really excited to keep working with this. Again, it's a bit newer. I maybe got it like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half, but it's so special, and I'm really excited to keep working with that one. So that is my first exciting one that I cannot wait to keep going with. But next, we'll do this one. The Trionfi de la Luna Illustrated. I'm so excited about this one. I love Patrick Valenza's style of art. And I did have the Deviant Moon, but it was a bit too dark, not in the sense of subject matter, like truly the colors. I wasn't a huge fan of how dark it was, or not that I wasn't a fan, but I knew I was only going to use it probably during like the Halloween season, and not that I don't have a problem holding on to decks for that, but I already have the Halloween tarot, which I will only use in October. So once I found out this one was coming out, I waited so I could see the images just to make sure that I liked it. I did pre-order this one, but I ended up rehoming my Deviant Moon because I knew these were going to kind of fill that same space for me, but this one I know I'm going to use all year round. I feel like that seems so silly, just the coloring changing my mind about it, but I also really love the artwork in this, and that it's the illustrated pips. I love Marseille style decks, but I don't always love pips. Not necessarily in terms of reading with them, just looking at them. I feel like all the things I'm saying sound so silly right now, but I love this so much. I got it in last Thursday, so I've not gotten to play with it too much yet, but I'm really excited about this one, and I feel like this is just going to do all the things that I was hoping the Deviant Moon would for me. Just with the muted color palette, and I just think it's just a funny, creepy deck, which I love anything that's fun and creepy, which will actually lead me into my next one, which is the Cute and Creepy Tarot. I am so excited about this one. I've been wanting this deck for so long. And I wasn't biting the bullet, I guess, is the saying. I don't really know why, but it popped up. Someone was selling their used copy with the deck and the full guidebook, which I don't know why I don't bring over the guidebooks, but that's okay. And so at a really great price. So I took the chance then, and oh my gosh, I am so excited about it. The guidebook explains what all the different creatures are on each of the cards, so I'm really excited to go through that and learn all the folk tales. Oh, I guess I should say what the deck is. So this is done by a tattoo artist who also has a big fascination in folk tales from all around the world. So the cards showcase different creatures or figures from these folk tales and ties them all together into a tarot deck, which I think is so much fun. I love the art style. I feel like when I want a cute deck, like I want it to be this, like just a little bit creepy for some reason. I don't know. I don't find it to be that creepy though. I think because I think it's kind of funny, and I still have really good readings with it too. So far, I got this, oh gosh, sometime last week too, so I've not had it for too long, which is why I am excited to keep using it. This is my favorite. How funny is that Lover's card? I love these. I just think it's such a cool idea, and I feel like when I think about study decks or decks I want to learn with, I kind of get a little bit repelled because this is a bit of, I mean, it certainly like started out as a hobby. Of course I have my Etsy shop now, but still it's something that I do entirely for enjoyment and for fun. So I'm not one, I did not like school very much for as much of it as I did. I didn't really enjoy it ever, so I never am interested, I guess, in studying. But I feel like this could be my study deck because I know I'm going to go through each card and look at what the creature is and want to read the folktales and learn all about it, because that's just what really interests me. So I'm really excited about this one and to really spend time with it. So, okay, let's keep moving. I know this is going to be a long video and I apologize, but hopefully you're enjoying yourselves along with me. My next deck got in yesterday. or sorry, 2 days ago, but I opened it yesterday, and it is the Ellen Iona Tarot, which is a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but one I am so excited about. I don't own a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I did, but I gifted it to the library for the teen section because we have some really cool new tarot books for the teens that our librarian got. And I thought they would just like to have a deck to like learn alongside with, so I wasn't using it. I probably read with it once or twice, and I got it 3 years ago. It's just not something I ever connected to, and I didn't really ever expect myself to get a true Rider-Waite-Smith clone and enjoy it. But the colors and illustration style of this is just, this is it for me. Like, this feels like my Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'm so excited about that. Not that I feel like anyone has to have one, but I'm still finding it exciting that I kind of found one that I really like. Again, it's not a true Rider-Waite-Smith. The artist is Ellen Iona. She is on Etsy, but it's very, very heavily inspired by the original Rider-Waite-Smith images, so I would consider it a clone for sure. And I love the color palette. I love the diversity we get. I don't know, I just think it's so beautiful, and I'm really excited to keep working with it because I think it's going to be a really clear reader since it is those Rider-Waite-Smith images that a lot of us know. So I'm excited about that. And is this my last one? I don't know why I feel like I'm forgetting something. I must not be, but I feel like I am. Again, I'm probably going to find it later. Oh, you know, I took notes and I'm not even checking them. No, I guess I didn't. I did not forget one. We'll find out. Anyway, this came in 20 minutes ago. I'm not even kidding. And this is the, oh gosh, I'm going to forget the name. Darn it. Eek. I don't know if I know how to say it. It is a Il Meneghello deck, and I can't remember the name, and I don't want to try. It's this one. So this is one that is, it's a pip deck, but it's like an kind of an illustrated pip deck as well, the style of it. 1893. It is Italian. Gosh, I feel I should have looked up what that name was beforehand, but I'm horrible with remembering names of things, especially, and if they're not on the box, I am not going to remember it. But I am so excited about this. I mean, it feels like it's printed on like really nice parchment paper almost. It's so different from anything else I have. See, it's still in order. So we got, I say we because this deck actually is not just for me. Paul and I picked this one out together to share. We'll see how that goes. We're going to share it though because he is very Italian, and he was asking the other day if there was any kind of Italian tarot decks, and I was like, actually, why, yes, there is. And here's the one that I feel like we need to get because they're hand printed historical recreations, which I think is so amazing. I know Il Meneghello himself has, I think, pretty recently passed, but his daughter has taken over the business entirely. They have a storefront in Italy where they sell these decks. I got this off of tarotarts.com. But anyway, so I showed this one to him and I was like, yeah, this one, it is like an Italian tarot deck. So he was really interested to kind of check that out and almost do some like ancestral work with it. So we ordered this one and it just came in today and I'm super excited about it. I know he is too. So we're gonna attempt to share it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just love the illustration styles. I definitely should have, you know, I'm gonna look right now. I'm gonna look and see what the name is. I had my, here we go. Intermission. While I find some information I should have had before. But that's how it goes, huh? Oh, no chance I say that. It's the Naibi di Giovanni Vacetta. So if you find any iteration of what that sounded like on Tarot Arts, that's the one we have. I should really learn how to say that, but that will be for another time. I'm just so excited about this. It is so beautiful, and it feels like handcrafted. I can't believe how much, like, I don't mean paper in any sort of bad way. Like, it feels, again, luxurious, but it's like a papery texture. So cool. I was really excited to get to check this out, even if it ends up being more of Paul's deck than mine. We all know what happened to my, oh gosh, what was it called? What is the deck that he has now? Oh, it's that funny one. Affirmator's Tarot. We all know what happened to my Affirmator's Tarot. Rest in peace. Not really. The deck is fine. It's Paul's now. It's not mine anymore. So that might happen with this too, and I suppose I'll be okay. But for now, I'm gonna use it a little bit too. So that is my first Il Meneghello deck, and it is just absolutely beautiful. But that was also my last deck to show, and therefore my last excitement. So I hope you all enjoyed coming along with me while I got to talk through my month of April. I always love these kinds of videos and watching these kinds of videos. Again, because I like to be nosy. I like to see what people are up to and using, all the above. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching and have a wonderful rest of your week.